Hi Year 11. You'll be starting your prelim exam today. I just wanted to go through some things with you to help you along as best as I can. So please listen carefully. You'll be using ink and coffee. There's different surfaces to choose from and different images. There's the Baines image, ornate doorways or windows, and the archway image. So let's talk about surfaces. This is a coffee stained background and it was on top of white emulsion, so it's got unusual textures in it. I understand that some of you won't like this surface because the way that the coffee pooled together with the random dark blobs. However, I'm going to show you on the next slide that that's actually quite a nice effect for some people. I found that the brown blobs just merged in with the ink anyway, and it's just created just some unusual tones within my work. Otherwise, it might have just been quite plain. If you don't like that effect, you can start from scratch on a plain piece of paper. You can grid it up, draw out your image, and then just paint with coffee and ink. If you want a surface as well, like a texture, you could use white paint first, then let it dry, and then add the coffee and the ink over the top, which is what we used to do in the past, but it was very time consuming. Or you could just coffee stain your own surface, let that dry, and then put the grid method or draw on top any way you choose. That might be quite nice if you want the smooth coffee effect. Don't go too dark with the staining of the coffee though. This isn't necessarily going to be a really neat technique. The way I do it is I add ink pure, and then I add water on my brush to dilute the ink. It looks really dark to start with, but it does dry much lighter, so that's something to bear in mind. Because I've worked on top of textured surface, because mine was painted white first with the emulsion, then it was coffee stained. Once it was dry, then I worked on top of it. So I've got coffee, the coffee brown blobs coming through, but I've also got these nice texture marks from the paint that was on previously. Whichever way you decide to do this work, you've got a minimum of 5 lessons. It's probably going to go on beyond that. Please make sure you're working in silence and keep working from the photograph. It might be a good idea at the end of each session to keep the photograph with the piece of work to save the time.